Hi everyone! Today I would like to show you the demonstration of beautiful horse head in watercolor. And before starting drawing, I want to show you, before starting adding the watercolor on a paper, I want to show you a simple shape of drawing. So this is our horse that we would like to work on it, and I want to divide it into big shape of modeling, so make it easy as a drawing, and then we add some touch of watercolor on top and some line as a drawing by micron pen. We can add or not, it depends. So let me put this aside and then move on with quick drawing. So quick drawing, I just add the paper here because I want to drawing a little darker to be visible. But I'm not drawing my paper, my watercolor paper, so dark because I want to have light surface. But it's okay if you do it dark, that's fine. Just in a simple shape. If we imagine that's the long head as a cylinder of the horse, I just separate the top part and then like a big diamond shape, like this line, and like this, as a face of the horse. I imagine this like that. This is the part of the face. If I divide it into the line, it's like this kind of line, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a big shape modeling of the face. And this is the nose and mouth part, so it comes like that, a nice C curve from here and there. Then you can reach them together. The bottom part of the mouth is come like this, connect like that, comes up, and then the part of this part is the jar, so and then connect to the neck. So I start from here, make it curvy like this, and then this part of the head, and you can connect to the neck and leave it comes down, then the rest. So this two part as a long big triangle shape as an ear, like that. So this is long ear. It depends, you can make face longer or shorter, and just connect this two part as a nose and this part as a hole for the nose. And this show here is the part of the eye, the left side, and this part is the right side of the eye. So the right side is visible completely, so we can draw it as this kind of shape, but the left side is not really visible. So this is the simple shape of our horse face. So you can make it narrow, longer, bigger, or smaller, it depends. But this is simple shape of our horse face. For the other one that I would like to draw for watercolor painting is a little bit, let me bring the watercolor stuff here. I want to separate it, the top part. Imagine this is the top part, and I have some hair on top, like this here, and this big shape modeling of the like the big diamond shape is happen here, but I try to make a little gentle C curve for that, so I don't do it very straight. So this is the nose, and the reason I do a little dark on my drawing because I want to do some like with micron pen around, and after adding the pencil and pen, the watercolor, I would like to add the micron pen on top. And this is just a simple shape of the mouth. And if I imagine this is the part of, I don't do drawing some part that I don't need it, so this is the big shape for the eye. I can separate the eye part here and even the eye part from this part. And this is another part of the eye, and then the jar. Back of the neck, the ear connect to that, This is the simple shape of ear. I hope everything be clear. So this is the one. So just in this simple shape of horse portrait, I just want to establish the structure first and the angle that the head has, like this long, like this one that we had head neck, we had head neck, long stroke like this part, and then mark several line to make it exactly look like a horizontal line and some part vertical line, and setting all this drawing as a portrait of our horse. So for this one that I want to work on it by watercolor, we have, I'm not sure the name exactly, it's like a horse collar, something like that. I just draw this a little bit on the top part and around this part of the face to separate it, and then they connect together from this way and here. I hope I'm correct with the name, horse collar maybe, I'm not sure exactly, but it's come under this part, and then for here I want to make it look like they connect like this. It's like D shape, and then make it a little bit thicker. Then like that, connect them together, and then move on here. Then the nose, it's not visible on this part, just a little bit. I'm going to add the dark color on that part to show the whole of nose, and then a little bit look like not perfect circle, just with an angle. I try to make it here, and I think this drawing would be enough. That's showing whole this horse portrait, so we can move on to do more by watercolor paint. So I put the pencil aside. Even I can make a little bit lighter the drawing if I don't want to see all this dark line under the watercolor paint. Just a bit more, erase a little bit, not to be visible completely. And then I'm going to choose the bigger size of brush, like this size. This is not much big, but it's number 10. And I'm going to start because in the real model that we want to work, we have light color, we have mid-tone color, and we have dark tone color. And even some parts we left as a white of the paper and then disappear. So we would like to work like that. So I'm going to, first of all, we need just a limited palette. We don't need much color. We just need the dark brown, reddish brown, and even in some part, like yellow ochre, or if you have raw sienna, it's the perfect one. So this is the dark brown. I add a water into that, bring it here. This is the darker brown, which is burnt umber. But if you have Van Dyke is darker than this. But you always can make the burnt umber darker, like with blue. I have a like French ultramarine blue. If I added the brown, it's already make it darker. This is the last color we want to add in our watercolor paint. Always we start from the lighter tone and then move on to the dark tone. So the mid-tone color is this reddish brown. I just bring them here into the palette to make them ready. And then the creamy color I would like to show you is this raw umber. Raw umber is like a creamy yellowy color, something like that, which is good for the base. That's lighter tone. So these are the colors that we want to make them ready. Okay, now my colors are ready. I want to apply on my horse portrait face. So I just cover even the darker tone. It's okay to add this creamy tone everywhere, even if you see that it's much darker than this. But very slow. Add the washy brush stroke. Not somber. Always keep a napkin in your hand and make it really clear. Just we don't need to cover all the part with the washy creamy tone. Some part we need to wait, keep it as a white color, so touch the napkin to keep them white color. Then around the eye, even you can work with your strokes, not to cover everywhere. The center of the face is better to be light as a white of the paper, or even you can touch with napkin. The part of jar is okay to add and cover whole the creamy tone with that. Even the mouth part, and just randomly add some brush stroke around the neck part, and we can play with the brush, with the napkin, to separate some parts from each other and make some lighter tone for that. I just would like to have light and dark color be visible. So work on this as a first layer. It's just enough to show that the base is like a light creamy color. The rest we will work on the second layer. So now for second layer, I try to let it dry, but some part it's still wet, it's okay. I move on with reddish brown, which is this brown that called burnt sienna, but if you don't have it, you can mix dark brown with red color and some close this color you can make it. And now with a little bit more accurate, I try to cover the ear part, because the ear is more dark, so I can just cover with this color, and then later I will bring with more accurate details on top by darker brown. And then the hair is just, you can use the tip of brush, sometimes you use the tip, sometimes you use whole the brush. And for this part I try to use just the tip to shape it like that. And even I don't want to cover all the creamy color that I already have, just back of the head, sorry, the neck, we can add the line and even bring some creamy color at the same time to let it a little disappear here. Just around the horse collar we can add more tone with reddish brown, and just let this color move together, and with the water that you already have in your brush you can move it, come down like that. Or I don't want to add any paint here, just a little bit, try to go with that. And when I go with the bigger size of brush, it's easier to control the big part. Because of that, for the bigger part I prefer to go with bigger size of brush to do whole brush stroke easier. Even I go with the water, control it by napkin, just try to disappear the edge, touch the edge and try to disappear this edge that happened here, like that. So then I'm going to move on, add more water into the paint, bring it to the center, but try to use less water, not very washy, because it's almost second layer here. And I'm going to add more paint into the jar, and then try not to make it look like the line. Even when you want to separate light and dark, I try to do it by big size of brush and try to make it disappear. You see here, even the eye is not much dark, but very gently I try to play with the tip of brush. Even if the edge create, control it by napkin, touch the edge and make it disappear. Just a little bit for the eye. I try to use the tip of brush for this part of the face to make it a little details like that, and come down. Then touch the edge of the right face, sorry, left of the face, and then add some details to the right. I'm not cover whole this creamy color. I just try to play with my brush stroke to keep that be visible, and even keep the white color be visible too. Under the nose is more dark, so I add this color, and then later I will bring more browny tone, darker brown on top. So this is about the mouth, and you see on center more darker, lighter tone is visible still. I'm not covered those. I just go with one stroke here, try to add more stroke around the eye, and even touch the water, clean the napkin to disappear this edge. I'm just adding like that here. So I think for second layer is enough. We can let it dry and then move on for another layer by really darker color. Now I'm going to start the details with smaller brush, pointy and smaller one, and I'm going to add the dark brown color first, mixing with the blue, which is ultramarine blue, that's darker blue, to make the brown so much dark. So the pointy brush, less water, more pigment we need to have. And even if some part is still wet, we need to wait completely get dry. Sometimes it's okay to add more paint on top, sometimes not. I'm going to start with this dark color on the ear and just try to do with the tip to cover the edge of the head of the ear of horse, just like that, to cover it. A simple shape, and then even lay down my brush into the paper to go on the center and make it darker. Just try to follow, add a little bit brush stroke as a hair on the back of the ear, like that, and then move on the other. Just do a little bit dark color on the edge with the tip of brush, and then make it a round shape on the top, come down closer to the head, and even lay down the brush to add the center a little bit darker. And even we can add some more darker red as well, reddish brown on this part to make this bottom section a little bit darker. And even on the end of my ear I want to show that it's like a hair, so from out bring it inside. So, and then we can go with the reddish brown, then on top bring the darker brown, like that. Leave it like this. And for the hair I would like to really make it dark, so that's the darkest part, which is brown and blue. Ultramarine blue is so dark. I'm going to add and try to use whole the hair of brush, less water, because less water may make the paint darker, and just randomly use the tip of brush, very clean, bring this brush stroke toward the bottom part and make some angle line vertically. So again, mix the blue with brown. I don't want to use any gray or black in my watercolor painting now. I just go with the brown and blue. The top part is darker, so I'm going to add darker tone, and then the bottom part is lighter. Then more water. Even I want to show this colon is in darker color, so the edge is dark. With the whole hair you can touch it and show it it's dark. Even we can go with the tip of brush to draw the narrow line around the edge of hair. Shouldn't be really straight, it's okay if you go like a little bit zigzaggy, that's fine. But try to use the tip of brush. Sometimes it's better to have not much thicker line here, and we can shape it look like this. And even like this. Then add the watery brush stroke to the whole body to make it lighter, but we need to keep the white around be visible. I just randomly add a little darker tone on the edge, on the center actually, and even on this part too. Then back to the brown with blue, very less water to have darker tone, and just touch this part of the edge of this colon and then move on under the jar. Even we need to add some more darker color here. We can mix reddish brown with the dark brown to have dark color here to let it be disappear. I don't want to show this colon be really highlight on my horse. So I just go with some, we can do some dark brush stroke later and separate those from each other. Okay, like that. And then again back to the dark brown, start adding the line here, make it separate like that. And inside I'm going to go watery brush stroke, but still keep some part a little lighter. So this is about the colon that I would like to show. And then this part, even I do this section with another medium, like with marker pen, not with the brush. So this part of the mouth I add just a bit browny color. Here is dark, so I add some brush stroke to make this section darker. Even here on the edge is a little bit dark. The eye is dark. Just randomly brush stroke on the nose part is dark. We can do one darkness here to show this is the whole of the nose, and even inside of this part. Around it you can add some more darker tone to separate those, and just again more dark color with whole the hair of brush, not just with the tip, to separate this dark part from the rest. The mouth like that. So still I would like to bring a brown with reddish brown mix and let this part just a bit more darker tone, or even here. It's happened when you add the colors on top, and then you can, after it's completely dry, you see it's not much dark. You need to add more darkness, so you can bring it back, play with hold the brush or sometimes just the tip to shape this dark color. So I prefer to move on some more dark even under the eye as well. But I try my best not to overwork, because in watercolor less is more, so try not to overwork on your paper and make the paper dirty. So now move on with the eye. We finish with that, and I just want to shape it with dark color again. The dark color I make is look like a black, so I just want to shape the eye. I just want to shine, so the shine inside the eye, so keep it as the white of the paper. And then on the top part to separate. And then here is move on toward the face. So clean the brush. Add a little bit darkness here with the lighter color. Then move on to the front. So I think it's fine with drawing, maybe a little bit. Some more darkness we can add here, and then here under the jar I would like to add more brown color. We mix with the dark brown or even the blue a little bit to make it darker. It's nice to bring it on this section as a brush stroke. And move on to the bottom part. Just some brush stroke. I don't want to let this dark and light be separate from each other. I want to melt them together. So I play with the colors. Already I keep the light color, but I try to add some more dark color as well. So that's I think enough. And then I want to bring a little bit, some line on top of the face with micron pen. So I have to wait, get dry, and then add those details. Okay, now everything is completely dry and I would like to add micron pen line on top of it. This is the micron pen 03 and it's good to add some more line and make it busy. It doesn't matter, any painting, you can work with the portrait, you can work with the like flowers, landscape and anything, you can use this one, and even you can do drawing as well with that. I just randomly make it busy with some line on the edge and try to use less pressure in my hand and randomly add some more line on my drawing, which is here. Even it can come on top of the face, that's okay, but make sure the line shouldn't be really perfect. You can see this line that randomly I add to make it busy. And even sometimes you can just adding some line here randomly with very less pressure in your hand, just make it like the geography of the face. You can divide it into different sections, add some line like that if you like. You don't have to go with that, but sometimes I like to add the line on my drawing. So even separate some part and I can show you this randomly line on top of the horse face. Even if you separate section, you can add some line to make it be visible that they are separate from each other. You can do this line come out to the paper or come inside. And just make it busy, and some people think that it's make it messy and dirty, but I like it. I think sometimes it gives my painting a character with that. If you like, welcome to work with that. If not, you can call your drawing is finished. Even we can just add some hashing and cross hashing inside the nose. Make some darker tone. And even make the face busy. But for this part of the color horse, I just want to add some line. Even to make it separate. Like that. It's nice to add some line around here too. So this is like this if you want to see from closer view, or even we can separate this, but I really add less pressure on my hand. and try to just move my hands so fast that go everywhere. And that's the horse portrait that I so love it. I hope you enjoy it, and again, thanks so much for joining me. Hope to see you next time. Bye for now.